What's up, guys? I'm Josh Mosiman, and welcome to This Week in MXA, episode number 131, presented by O'Neill Racing. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. Redbud National is this weekend, and they have made some track changes, and that is a very interesting topic to touch on in This Week in MXA. We'll also talk about a few other things, but first, Redbud, LaRocco's Leap is going to be a lot easier to hit, and the start is back to the traditional location that we haven't seen since 2018. First off, let's talk about the LaRocco's Leap. This jump was named LaRocco's Leap off Mike LaRocco because of him clearing it on a 125 two-stroke. It's always been known as the gnarliest jump on the AMA circuit, and for the past few years, only the 450 class has been hitting it regularly, with a lot of 250 riders not able to clear it. Pretty much, unless you were on a Star Racing Yamaha 250, it wasn't possible to clear it because it had a 180-degree left-hander off-camber turn before it that made it so difficult to clear that jump. Well, now we're going to see a lot of 250 riders clear it probably for the first time because they're going to have such a good run up to it. So instead of the 180 that I just mentioned, now it is a long sweeper straightaway into the LaRocco's Leap. Not a straightaway, but it's a long sweeping left-hand turn, and it's going to be rough and gnarly, but it's going to be able to let these riders carry so much more momentum at this jump that we'll be seeing a lot of riders clear it. I think that's probably good for the fans to see riders clear it, but it's also kind of an exciting topic when only some guys can do it and some guys can't. So either way, you can look at it as a pro or con. I think it's going to be cool. Something different is always fun to watch and keep your eyes on. In other news, the start is very different. It's going back to the traditional start, as I mentioned. The 2018 AMA National at Redbud was the last time it had this layout. It's a long start into a 180-degree sweeping, not 180, but a 90-degree sweeping left-hander into a sharp right-hander. That's the traditional way for Redbud. The gate is moved back there. It was originally moved over just a few, maybe 600 yards, 500 yards. It was moved a little ways down the straightaway and made into a 180-degree right-hander first turn. It was made that way from the Motocross Designations in 2018, and it was left all the way through the Motocross Designations in 2022. The reason being, the Grand Prix series, MXGP series, they need a long, flat straightaway to install their mechanics area because their mechanics area is a double-decker building, and they put the team managers on top with TVs, lap times. It's quite the setup they use, and they take it to all of their rounds. But because of that, they need a straightaway that is perfectly straight. That was the one that made sense. They had to switch up the start for the Motocross Designations. From my opinion, I thought that start was a little bit safer. I don't remember any big crashes happening in that 180-degree right-hander, but you guys can remind me in the comments if you remember some crashes from there. I have seen a lot of crashes in the 180-degree, or the left-hander, the sweeping left-hander on the traditional start, but I know a lot of people are excited to have the start back to its traditional spot, and we're excited to see how it plays out this weekend. So of course, the Lawrence brothers still have their 4-0 record. Hunter Lawrence won all 4 250 overall so far this year. Jet Lawrence has been unbeatable, going 8-0 in the 450 class, winning all the motos so far. So we're excited to see if anybody can challenge them this weekend at Redbud, or if we can get some sort of controversy going to get another rider on the top step, especially in that 450 class. We've had a couple riders win first motos in the 250 class, but man, we got to get somebody to challenge Jet Lawrence in this 450 class. In other news, Jason Anderson, it sounds like he will be back this weekend. I reached out to Kawasaki. They said they're still trying to confirm if he's going to be there or not. He said probably on his Instagram, so I'm guessing we'll see Jason Anderson back, which will be good to have another factory 450 rider on the track this weekend. I'm also excited to say that FMF is the title sponsor of the Redbud National, which goes well because FMF, made in the USA, Redbud National. It is basically the most American race that we have. It's 4th of July weekend. It's a full-on party of red, white, and blue out there in Michigan. It's a lot of fun to be at. FMF, they are excited to sponsor the race, and I'm excited to say that they're also sponsoring our Motocross Action Fantasy League, which you can play this weekend. It's free to sign up, and you get to pick 3 450 riders, 3 250 riders for your roster. You have $50,000 to stay within budget on for those 6 riders that you pick, and the top points paying player, the player that picks the best riders for this weekend, will earn an FMF prize. You get either a 4-stroke muffler for the bike of your choice, or you get a pipe and silencer for the 2-stroke of your choice. So FMF, stoked to have them on board this weekend. motocrossactionmag.com to get signed up for our fantasy league. I hope to see you there. In other news, the World Supercross Series is kicking off its 2023 season this weekend in Birmingham, England, and Ken Roxon, Kyle Chisholm, Grant Harlan, and Max Miller are all headed overseas to race the World Supercross Series, so they won't be be racing this weekend at Redbud. We're bummed to miss Ken Roczen after doing such a great job at High Point and actually giving Jet Lawrence a little bit of a fight. He'll be racing at the World Supercross Series this weekend, but there's some big news. The second round of the World Supercross Series, which was originally scheduled to be July 22nd in France, has been canceled, and now they've added a new round in Abu Dhabi 5 months later. So that opens the door for Ken Roczen to now race Washougal and the other riders I just mentioned to race Washougal as well. It'll also give us a better chance to see Roczen at more nationals because he has a better chance at staying here, racing maybe Millville at Spring Creek the weekend before, and staying here for the rounds afterwards. So good news for American fans to see Ken Roczen hopefully race more AMA nationals, and also interesting news for the World Supercross Series. It's a bummer because France, out of all the European countries and out of all the non-US countries in the world, France is one of the ones that supports Supercross and has Supercross races every year in the off season. So bummer that they're not going to be racing in France, but Abu Dhabi, it's going to be cool to see them race over there. The World Supercross Series has a very unique schedule. The first round is July 1st in England. Then they take a huge break before they race September 30th in Singapore. Then they go October 14th in Germany, October 28th in Canada, November 4th and 5th in Abu Dhabi, and they finish off the series in Australia November 24th and 25th. So it's kind of weird they have such a big break in between. It reminds me of like the Works and NGPC series we have here for off-road. They take a huge break during the summer, but still, it's going to be interesting to watch. We'll have racing in England and racing at Redbud to keep your eyes on this weekend. Next up, we head to Pro Circuit for the announcement of the new Losi Pro Moto Motocross bike. It's an RC dirt bike. This thing is super cool. We got some footage here, and I talked to Mitch Payton. I also talked to Mitch Payton's kids, Ty and Tanner, and I got to talk to Frank Root from Losi RC Cars about the new bike. Let's head over there now. All right, Frank, thank you for your time. Can you explain a little bit about who you are and then just give us an overview of the bike?
Yeah, so my name is Frank Root. I'm the category manager for performance at Losi. And today we have the Pro Moto MX, which is Losi's first motorcycle. It's a completely groundbreaking product. We've never had anything like this in the RC industry. We've had some dirt bikes before, but quite frankly, they've never really been that great. They've never looked like the real thing or driven like the real thing or really fulfilled that urge of people to be able to do motocross or supercross on a smaller scale. And this product does that.
Cool. And can you give us a rundown of just like the different parts on the bike? So I was impressed that you have front and rear brakes, and then obviously the gear is, you can change out the gear. So just like, can we maybe gloss over the bike for everybody?
Yeah, so just one of the key features here is we have a front brake. It's actually a piston here that clamps down on the disc, so it's a disc brake, friction brake. There's a cable running through this line here that goes over to a servo. And then in the rear, we have a drivetrain with a realistic chain. The chain does the drive. It's super durable and relatively lightweight. It's very powerful and strong. But one of the key features is we have a flywheel here in the middle of the chassis. It's over a pound and it spins at more than 22,000 RPMs. Wow. And it really stabilizes the bike. And then the last thing that I'll talk about is the MS6X technology. So that's motorcycle stability 6-axis. And it basically is the receiver and the radio system. And rather than trying to turn the servo when you're using the radio, you're actually telling the bike to lean over. And the system does all of the computations, all of the work, and basically tells the servo what to do to help you achieve that lean angle. And that's really the key to the bike and why it works, because it gives you more control over a motorcycle than anybody's ever had before in the RC world. And then there's aftermarket accessories. So this is a production bike? Yeah, so this one's full production. This is exactly how it comes out of the box. We have 3 versions, and this is the Pro Circuit version, and then there's 2 FXR versions. Accessory-wise, we have an aluminum swing arm, aluminum rising rate suspension parts, we have aluminum hubs, different color sprockets, aluminum triple clamps coming out. We have plastics in 7 different colors, so pick your favorite color that you want to represent on the weekend and be able to put it on this bike. And then we also have different rider jerseys coming out, and the thing that's exciting for me is we've never had anything like this in the industry, so seeing what kind of aftermarket develops around it is uncapped and unlimited, and it's exciting to see what's going to happen. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time. Absolutely.
All right, Mitch. Pretty wild. I was expecting, when I came here, I was expecting an RC car with a Pro Circuit logo on it, but I was definitely not expecting a bike. And then when I saw the bike, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. So how cool is this new Losi Pro MX bike?
I think it's pretty neat. I knew about it a while ago, obviously, and I couldn't say anything. And everybody, they sponsored our team this year, and that was just to have us involved with it or whatever. And it's been really cool to see them, you know, get it better and better, and now they're ready to go. And you saw it out there. Like, I think kids are going to love it.
Yeah.
Anybody that has a bicycle or motorcycle is going to want one. Because if you can imagine, like you saw out there, if there was 10 of them, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
They jump, they can go through little whoops, they can do corners.
Yeah.
They roost, you know, like they're pretty cool.
So you have 2 boys. They got a pit bike track in the backyard, probably ride BMX bikes there a lot. So have they gotten to test the new bikes yet or no?
No, they haven't got to ride them yet, or drive them yet. So like, I'm sure we'll get a couple as soon as they're out, and I'm sure our pit bike track will be, you know, RC car track.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of fun. Like, they got RC cars from Losi.
Yeah.
And they really love those. But I think this is more like they saw it today and they're like, when can we get one? When can we get one?
That's
I'm like,
cool.
you gotta wait. I don't know.
I think it's pretty cool. Looks like they put a lot of work into it. It looks pretty sick. I'm excited to drive it. It's an RC car, technically, just a dirt bike. It's a big toy. It's about 8 pounds, they said, so it's pretty heavy for a bike. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So hopefully it'll be fun. And like you said, it's a big thing. It's got that big gyro in it, so when you fall, it gets up on its own. It doesn't fall that often. So I think it'll be fun.
I also have a couple clips to share from Motocross Action test rider Josh Fout. He raced a 200-mile off-road race in Big Bear this weekend. Big Bear is his hometown. That's where he lives. And him and his wife raced the event. It was a gnarly event. He told me that the first 100 miles took them 8 hours. His wife, Gabby, she's a novice level rider, and she's a beast for taking on this 200-mile event. So Gabby and Josh completed the first 100 miles together. Gabby decided to retire for the day, and Josh continued, raced the next 100 miles in 4 hours, and finished just minutes before the 7 p.m. cutoff. So good job, Josh Fout. Thanks for representing the Orange Helmet off-road. Also, Ezra Lewis, he is in Southwick last week. We posted some videos on our Instagram channel that you can check out. Ezra's been training and getting ready for Redbud this weekend, where he will be racing with the Orange Helmet in the 450 class. Good luck this weekend, Ezra. I also just got back from North Carolina, where my wife and I were helping out Freddie and Amy Noren set up their new cabin in the mountains. It's in the Smoky Mountains. Beautiful place. Let's head there now. All right, guys. This segment of our This Week in MXA, I'm here with my wife in North Carolina, and we are here with Freddie and Amy Noren. Freddie is in the middle of racing the AMA Nationals for the Twisted Tea Suzuki team. You raced for Privateer team, the Mad Parts Kawasaki team in Supercross, new team Suzuki's for outdoors. He's in the middle of a crazy year because he's switching from Kawi to Suzuki mid-season. You have 1 weekend off right now in between High Point and Redbud, and we're here in beautiful Deep Gap, right?
Yeah,
Deep Gap, North Carolina. They have built this cabin. It is insane. We've spent the last 3 days here, and Ashley and I are leaving tomorrow on Monday, headed home. So can you give everybody a rundown of what this is and why we're standing here on this really cool deck right now?
Yeah, like you said, it's our first weekend off, so it's a perfect opportunity for us to kind of get some stuff going, and having you guys over, it's been awesome. Also, your father-in-law and mother-in-law, Ashley's mom and dad, came over, Chris and Jan, and helped us move a lot of furniture. We've had some other friends as well, David Gobble. Anyways, it's been a big effort trying to get this cabin going. So this cabin is built for the future for us. It's a vacation cabin that we're gonna set up on Airbnb pretty soon. We're not too far out on having it up there. So just super exciting. This weekend is an off weekend, and sure, we're doing a lot of work, but we'll get to hang out as well. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's crazy building in the mountains, never built before. It's been a journey. My wife, Amy, she's done a lot. Same with her mom. It's been gnarly, but it's been super cool as well. So I've learned a lot, and here we are.
I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot just as his friend. So this was all trees a year and a half ago. You guys bought the land, then you had to grade the property. You had to have the cabin set in. So it's a modular cabin. How do you say that? Manufacturer?
Yeah, so it's a true log cabin, but it came in 2 pieces. It's built in-house, and then they come in, set it with a crane, lift the roof, put in the windows and everything. So it's kind of a crazy process to begin with, and yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
These guys have customized it. You guys added in a basement, so now it's 3 stories tall. You guys added in a huge game room downstairs. We carried a piano upstairs yesterday. We have some clips of that. We had to take down the wood railing and put the hoist the piano up there on a lift. So long story short, they've done a ton of stuff here. How many bedrooms?
Let's see. Five bedrooms.
5 bedrooms, hot tub, game room, full kitchen, Airbnb. These guys will have it up here soon. So check out the Swedish host on Instagram. Freddie's Swedish. I'm half Swedish. And here we are. Good times from This Week in MXA.
Let's go.
Now back to the track. All right, guys, that's all for This Week in MXA, episode 131. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. At Motocross Action Mag for more on Instagram, motocrossactionmag.com for our website with all the stuff that we're up to. Be sure to subscribe to Motocross Action Magazine for exclusive content that we're producing, bike tests, product tests, and more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.